Glad you spent that time.
Is that all right,
Yeah.
Ryan?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Welcome to another broadcast of WHEI News Center 10, live at 5.
Find out tonight why the people in Brussels are singing and drinking beer to show support.
Also tonight, only on WHEI, find out how your art can reach new heights.
All this and more only on WHEI.
Good evening, Tiffin, and welcome to WHEI News Center 10, live at 5. I'm Laura Beta.
And I'm Jeff Helms. Let's get to our first news story of the night.
A pedestrian strip outside the stock exchange in Brussels became a colorful canvas of support and defiance after Tuesday's deadly bombings. A few thousand people were gathered late Tuesday to draw more messages and lay candles. One group broke into the Belgium national anthem in both the country's national languages, French and Flemish. Many of the drawings were joyous, and slogans like "Spread the Love," "Live and Let Live," and "We Are One" were heard. At the center of the square, a memorial was improvised out of flags, tea lights, balloons, flowers, and because this is Belgium, beer bottles.
Government scientists presented a list of new recommendations to Ohio leaders Tuesday to combat the painkiller fentanyl, after data showed 5 times as many people died in the state from the potent drug in 2014 over the previous year. Almost 12% of the state's overdoses in 2014 were due to fentanyl. The most recent data available from the state came from Summit County, showing that 58 people died. The CDC team visited health centers in Cuyahoga, Hamilton, and Montgomery counties and the city of Portsmouth to give their recommendations. Fentanyl is a powerful prescription painkiller commonly used in cancer treatment and other chronic pain. It is reported to be 40 to 50 times stronger than heroin, which leads many drug dealers to sell it to heroin addicts. Attorney General Mike DeWine has rejected the summary for a statewide issue seeking to legalize both medical marijuana and industrial hemp in Ohio. DeWine found its summary failed to divulge how industrial hemp and medical cannabis would be researched, regulated, and promoted by the state in a manner similar to other agricultural crops. The summary's failure to explain these aspects caused DeWine to reject the issue. DeWine has certified one medical marijuana ballot proposal and has a decision to make on a similar ballot by Friday.
The Cincinnati Zoo says one of their cheetahs has died 2 weeks after giving birth to 5 cubs in a rare C-section procedure. The zoo said Tuesday that cheetah named Willow had been lethargic since giving birth and stopped eating over the last few days. But the zoo says the 5 cubs that have been getting around-the-clock critical care are doing much better now. Zoo workers are bottle feeding the cubs and have brought in an Australian shepherd dog to give the cubs a companion to snuggle and provide some warmth. That wraps up our local news segment for the day.
After the break, find out why Heidelberg is encouraging their students to fight on campus, only on WHEI.
You're watching WHEI TV 10.
Student programming from the Media Communication Center at Heidelberg University.
This is the ocean, and this is Kipper. Kipper doesn't live in the ocean, but if she did, this is likely what would happen. This is Sparky, and this is habitat destruction. Boozer doesn't like it, neither does Fluffy. We wouldn't let this happen to Kipper, Sparky, Boozer, or Fluffy. In the oceans, it's worse. Lacking opposable thumbs, Kipper can't take action, but you can. Visit BeringSeaCanyons.org.
In the heart of Heidelberg's campus lies the Fireside Cafe and Pub, featuring a relaxing and engaging space welcome to the public. Fireside's menu includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, desserts, and even a soothing latte or coffee, offering a wide selection of exciting new and wholesome food options. Fireside Cafe Pub also serves a variety of refreshing drinks to accompany its cozy atmosphere. Come experience Fireside's new fall menu and visit us on Instagram at Berg Dining Services.
Every time you purchase a fishing license or register your boat, you're helping to preserve our nation's coastlines, lakes, rivers, and streams, protecting memories for generations to come. Learn how your participation in boating and fishing can help the environment at takemefishing.org/conservation.
Welcome back to News Center 10, live at 5.
Let's get started on our Heidelberg campus news segment. Have you ever wanted to learn how to fight? Heidelberg University's theater department is holding They Fight auditions Thursday, March 28th at 7 p.m. in Gunlock Theater. You will learn the principles of fight choreography, how to compose a fight, and the art of physical storytelling culminating in a live performance of scenes featuring fighting. Madison Swires, the theater student, explains how she is excited to learn about combat technique at Heidelberg. Auditions will be conducted by Jason Spiker, an advanced actor combatant with the Society of American Fight Directors and is the leading fight choreographer in Central Ohio. Performance will begin April 29th and 30th at 7:30 p.m.
Heidelberg University will be hosting a spring open house on Wednesday, March 30th. This is a great day for a first visit to Heidelberg. Potential students can tour campus, meet professors, and learn about what college will be like at Heidelberg. Hannah Griffith, a student ambassador, tells us that she is excited to give tours to the potential students that are coming to Heidelberg.
Spring Open House is a really neat day that students can come to campus to make their final decisions, and I'm really excited to lead some tours around.
Heidelberg will be giving a broad overview and will be answering specific questions. Spring Open House is an all-day event. The day starts at 9 a.m. and goes to 1 p.m.
Berg Events Council is hosting an event featuring the local band Blackwood Steel. Enjoy your Saturday evening by coming out and listening to some live music from a band born and raised in Ohio. They will be performing a cozy acoustic set including all of your favorite songs. Caitlin Campbell, a member of Berg Events Council, tells us how the students like to get involved at BEC events, and the next event that they are planning is bringing a band to campus.
Hi, BEC puts on a lot of events on campus that everyone participates in, and on April 2nd we have a band coming that we're bringing this year.
This event is happening Saturday, April 2nd at 8 p.m. in University Commons. Come out and listen with Blackwood Steel. So that sounds like a cool band to listen to. I mean, all local. That's awesome.
Yeah, it should be really cool to go to.
Yeah. So that's all we have for Berg's campus news today.
After the break, find out why a terminally ill comedian is excited exclusively on WHEI.
WHEI TV 10, let's go!
Student programming from the Media Communication Center at Heidelberg University.
When depression meets hope, everything can change. Help someone who's struggling by supporting the National Alliance on Mental Illness and be a part of the NAMI effect. Hope starts with you.
We got adopted. Over the years, I came to know the full story of what really happened. She had us when she was 17.
The way she saw things going, it wasn't a good environment to raise a kid. The fact that she did that just shows how strong of a woman my mother is, and I thank her each and every day for it. I wouldn't be the person who I am today, and I like the person I am today. I knew I was loved and I was part of a family, so that was what's important to me. I'm Christoph.
And I'm Christopher.
And our mom chose adoption.
Hello and welcome to our Social Spotlight segment. Let's check out what's trending today in the world of social media. This isn't the first time Ellen DeGeneres has had comedian Quincy Jones on her show, but it's definitely an important one for him. As Ellen explains, Jones has terminal cancer, and one of the things he wants to make sure he does in his lifetime is have a comedy special. What he didn't know before going on her show is that she's already put that in motion, working with HBO and his people to make sure his upcoming comedy show in LA is taped to air on the premium cable network. Michelle Obama was a music keynote panelist at a South by Southwest in Austin, Texas, to discuss women in the arts, education, and society. It was a nice setup for Obama's announcement of a new single, This Is For My Girls, written by Diane Warren. Obama doesn't sing herself, but she's putting her considerable influence behind the song to raise awareness for the 62 million girls worldwide without access to education. The full single is available on iTunes. Today is Wednesday, which usually means it's social time with Scotty C. Let's check it out.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Campus C Social Spotlight. I'm Scott Carpenter, and spring is in the air, and so is March Madness all across the country. Billions of brackets busted, and we're going to figure out today just how many are busted here at Heidelberg.
Semi-wonderful. 10 out of the 16, Sweet 16, so not as bad as anticipated.
Yeah, and I see that we both picked Wisconsin and Gonzaga to move to the Sweet 16.
Well, yeah, geniuses usually do certain things like that.
Great minds definitely think alike. You still got your champion intact? Is there any way you win the office pool?
It's illegal to gamble when you work for NCAA.
I'm just talking about bragging rights.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, because if you'll notice it's also done in pencil.
Yes, exactly. Just like the golf course, we can erase it if we need to and get right back at it. Absolutely. All right, Coach, best of luck to you on the way in.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we're here with Rachel Ramondo. And Rachel, we're talking about brackets today. How is your bracket?
Not good, man. It's not good.
Now, who ruined it for you? Was it Michigan State?
Michigan State ruined it for me. I had them winning one of my brackets. Not good.
So Middle Tennessee State, not who you expected to pull that off?
No, not at all.
Absolutely. So you still have a chance in the bracket, though? Or can you beat some people?
I have 2 brackets. One of them I have UNC winning, so we got that going for me. But yeah.
Well, we'll see if Roy Williams can pull it off for the Tar Heels. Hopefully, he can win some money or something.
Yeah, hopefully.
Or just bragging rights, which we established earlier. Yeah. Today, talking about the brackets, is yours completely busted or still in it?
It's completely busted.
Yeah. Did Michigan State do a number on it?
Yes, they did. Yeah. Unlike my 3-year-old son, who played Tennessee State to go to the Final Four, I did not have that first round.
A lot of people want to think that Michigan State would make it to the next round with ease. So, I mean, Middle Tennessee would have picked there. But, so continue on with the bracket. Your champion's still intact. Any way you can redeem the lead on your son?
I've got Kansas. He's got Stony Brook. Finals winning it all, so I think I got a good chance.
That's a good one. Did he judge it off the mascots, or did he just go random on it?
Well, I think he chose the team he said second, so that typically was the lower seed. Right. And he ended up taking Little Rock because they were little. So, good thought process.
Probably still a little better than Dick Vitale and bracketology, though.
Hopefully.
All right, Coach, thank you. All right, here with Paul. And Paul, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well.
Good, and you're doing well, but how's the bracket doing?
Doing pretty well, top of my group.
Nice, sweet. How many people are you facing?
We have 10 in our group.
Yeah, you got some bragging rights on the line? Is there a little wager there?
No, just for bragging rights.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And who's your champion?
Oklahoma.
All right, you got confidence in Buddy Hield and Oklahoma to pull it out?
Exactly.
All right, hopefully they do for you so you can win some bragging rights. All right, thank you, Paul. Got the Director of Athletics here, Matt Palm. Matt, how you doing?
I'm doing great today, thanks.
Good. And you're doing great, but how's your bracket doing?
My bracket was busted the other day. Xavier was my pick to win it. The offensive charge call that went against us was just not helpful.
Yes, I actually had Wisconsin to beat Xavier.
Did you really?
So just here, your kids are also rubbing it in your face a little bit that your bracket's not doing so well.
They are. As a family, we all picked a bracket, and right now my 6-year-old son, my 10-year-old daughter, and my 12-year-old son, and my wife all have more points and their national championship team left. So.
And your national championship team gone.
Mine is gone. I have 0
embarrassing on the trailway in. All right, thank you, Matt.
Thanks.
So there you have it. A lot of brackets all over Heidelberg completely busted thanks to the like of Michigan State and Xavier taking a lot of people's brackets down. However, we did find out that great minds do think alike because me and Dan Hartzell both had Wisconsin and Gonzaga moving on to our Sweet 16. Hopefully we can pull out some victories, and that's going to do it for another Scotty C. Now back to the studio.
That's all we have for our social spotlight segment tonight. Now let's send it back over to Laura and Jeff at the news desk.
Thank you, Dom. So, that's really cool that Michelle Obama is sponsoring or promoting the song for girls everywhere. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think the Obamas are pretty busy this time of year because with President Obama in Cuba, it's really cool.
Yeah, Obamas are awesome. It's time to throw it over to Brian Lacey to take a look at today's top sports stories.
The Tampa Bay Rays played in Cuba against the Cuban national team yesterday afternoon. The game got a special visit from the POTUS. President Barack Obama, he's the first U.S. president to visit the island since the sanctions were handed down, and he was welcomed with open arms. James Loney brought in the first run of the game with an RBI single in the top of the second inning. You can see President Obama not being shy with the natives about cheering on his country's team. Fast forward to the top of the fourth. Loney making the highlights again, hitting a two-run home run in the lone home run for Tampa Bay on the day. That belted the lead to 3-0. Rudy Reyes came in to pinch hit in the ninth inning, and he hit a home run, and it was Cuba's only run of the game. Heidelberg Jake Hankish, he watched the game, and he had a take on the president's visit. He said that he thinks that it's great that President Obama went to Cuba. He thinks that there's a long way to come with Cuban diplomacy, with their regime and communism, but he thinks that using baseball as a bridge to come together and show that what we have in common between Americans and Cubans was a step in the right direction. On to basketball, NBA battle out west. The Houston Rockets traveled to Oklahoma City to face off against the Thunder in Chesapeake Energy Arena. Both teams brought the energy to Chesapeake Arena last night. Onto the first quarter, James Harden throws a beautiful pass to Dwight Howard for the slam dunk. On the other end, we have Russell Westbrook, who drives and kicks it out to Serge Ibaka, who knocks down a three-pointer. In the first quarter is how the rest of the game went, back and forth scoring all night as you see Westbrook get the and one on the play there. James Harden comes in and takes Andre Robinson to the rack for 2 points. Harden finished the game with 24 points and 16 assists. Even though Harden had a double-double, the real show came from Russell Westbrook. He ended up with a triple-double with 21 points, 15 assists, and 13 rebounds. You can see him stealing the ball from James Harden and taking it coast to coast for the monstrous dunk. You can tell James Harden wanted no parts in that slam. 2 minutes left in the fourth, the Thunder up by 2, and Westbrook drops the mid-range jumper. Houston doesn't quit there as Harden knocks down the three-pointer with the defender draped all over him. That shot brought them within 1 point after a free throw from Serge Ibaka. The Thunder up by 2. James Harden with another chance, and he throws the alley-oop to Dwight Howard, but it's deflected by Dion Waiters, and that's the game. Thunder win 107-111. Donovan Walker had thoughts on how Russell Westbrook has been playing so well thus far. He said he's just a great defender. He's explosive, and he does what he has to do to get the W at the end of the night. He's a really great teammate. He always passes the ball, and he gets rebounds and assists. He's an all-around player. On to hockey. The Columbus Blue Jackets won a close game against the Philadelphia Flyers last night. We're going to start in the third period. With 8 minutes left in the third, the Blue Jackets found themselves down 2-0 and looking for a spark, and that's exactly what they got from Boone Jenner, who tipped in a goal from 12 feet away. 1 minute left in the game, and the Flyers are up by 1 until Cam Atkinson gets a snapshot to go from 5 feet away. And we're on to overtime now. There were plenty of shots on goal during the OT period, but none of the shots fell, so we're going to head to a shootout. After going back and forth with many saves from both goalies, Boone Jenner gets his second goal of the day, and it's a pretty one, completely fooling the goalie. So the Blue Jackets get the win, and Jenner gets the game-winning goal in the shootout period. Sophomore Montana Backdoor explains how shootouts make the game more interesting. She said last night's game between the Flyers and the Blue Jackets ended with Columbus beating them in the shootout, and she believes that shootouts make the fans a lot more on the edge, a lot more into the game, and it just makes the whole atmosphere a lot better.
Middle Tennessee State plays Michigan State in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Middle Tennessee State starts the game hot, and here's a three from Darnell Harris. But Michigan State claws their way back into the game with an alley-oop from Valentine to Gavin Schilling. Valentine throws another alley-oop, this time to Deontay Davis. Jaquan Raymond hits the and-one three to keep the momentum alive for the Blue Raiders. Off a Michigan State turnover, Perrin Buford gets an easy two-handed slam. But not to be outmatched, Bryn Forbes comes down to hit an open three-pointer to keep Michigan State in the game. Darnell Harris uses his body well in the post to get the and-one basket. Off a near turnover, Giddy Potts gets a look from inside the paint. Potts can't help but smile after hitting the shot to expand their lead to 5. Michigan State tries to come back, but Middle Tennessee State's defense won't allow it. The Blue Raiders will hold on to upset the Spartans by a score of 90-81. All 5 of their starters score in double digits. The San Antonio Spurs are coming off a big home win against the Golden State Warriors. They travel to Charlotte to play against the Hornets. The Spurs jump off to a hot start with Boris Diaw finding an open David West for an easy layup. The Spurs end the first quarter with a 30-7 lead. Jeremy Lin takes it at the Spurs defense, scoring on the lay-in. Tim Duncan uses a good pump fake to get the defender in the air. He goes to the line looking to complete the three-point play. Early in the third quarter, the Hornets find Courtney Lee on a fast break for the three. Lee gets another open look, this time from the elbow. On a fast break, Jeremy Lin pulls up for the three to give the Hornets a lead. Again, Lin finds the ball in his hands as he makes another one to give the Hornets a three-point lead. LaMarcus Aldridge misses the layup, and Kawhi Leonard tips the ball in to give the Spurs the lead 88-87 with a minute remaining. Linsanity appears again as he hits his step-back jumper over Aldridge to give the Hornets a lead. The Hornets intercept the inbounds pass to seal the comeback victory. The Hornets come back from a 30-7 deficit to win the game 91-88. Heidelberg baseball is back. The baseball team travels to Florida over spring break. The baseball team is happy to be back on the field playing games. They've had workouts and practices for the past several months, and many of their practices have been at 4 in the morning in Cyberling Gymnasium. They are excited for the season to begin, and I caught up with Kyle Slovic to see how the games went in Florida. Kyle said the best way to describe it is it's a roller coaster. They know what the coach expects from them, and they all expect something from each other. And to start the week, they didn't really live up to it. They got their first win against Nichols to start the trip, so they started off well, but then they went away from Heidelberg baseball and what it's all about. They weren't using situational hitting and things like that. But as soon as they had that day off, they had 3 days to end the trip, and they started playing really well at the end, and ended on a good note going into conference play. Kyle later said that it's a process. The team is continuing to progress every day. Their next game is today at La Roche, and they have their first conference game at Capital on Friday. That's all we have for your Berg Sports today. Now let's send it back to Laura and Jeff.
Thanks, Dom.
So March Madness will live up to the hype this year.
Yeah, it's definitely madness, I'll tell you that.
A lot of busted brackets.
A lot of busted brackets. When we return, find out how you can make your art out of this world.
You're watching WHEI TV 10.
Student programming from the Media Communication Center at Heidelberg University.
I thought everything would go back to how it used to be. But that wasn't realistic for him, or our family. Make the Connection helped me realize that we are not alone. Other families are dealing with similar challenges and working toward the right solutions together. Visit maketheconnection.net to see stories like ours and learn how your family can start the journey toward recovery today.
When depression meets hope, everything can change. Help someone who's struggling by supporting the National Alliance on Mental Illness and be a part of the NAMI effect. Hope starts with you.
Welcome back to WHEI News Center 10, live at 5.
Let's get to the last story of the night.
Are you a creative person who wishes your personal expressions of originality and imagination could transcend the boundaries of time and space? Well, NASA wants to help you achieve that lofty goal, literally.
In September, NASA will launch a spacecraft on the first U.S. mission to collect samples of an asteroid and return them to Earth for study.
The public is invited to submit artwork about what exploration means to them, which will be saved on a computer chip and stored on the spacecraft.
If you created something that you'd like to send, submit your sketch, photograph, poem, song, or any other personal artistic expression to We the Explorers.
Thank you for watching WHEI News Center 10 live at 5. Our program tonight was produced and presented by the Department of Communication and Media from inside the Media Communication Center at Heidelberg University.
Thank you for tuning in to today's broadcast. Be sure to tune in next week for our next.
I'm Laura Beta.
And I'm Jeff Helms.
And on behalf of Dom and Brian and all of the WHEI production crew, we thank you for watching.